Hello and how are you? My name is Muhindo Mubarak and I welcome you to another video of creating a WhatsApp application clone. Remember, in the previous video we were able to reach a point of creating a user account, and in today's video we are going to resume exactly from how we stopped in the previous video, whereby we are going to look at the logic of sending a message from one user to another user. That's what we're going to do in today's video. If you did not watch the previous video, I highly recommend you to please find the link in the description of this video and watch all the previous videos so you can be at the same level with us. So I hope you're ready to do this with me. If you are, then let's get started. Okay, so without wasting much time, you're going to start by creating a send message function. So I'm going to create a new file. You can see this is our file that we created in the previous video. So I'm going to create a totally new file here that is going to work on the logic of sending a message to what? To another user. So I'll simply press Ctrl New and I save this file as. You can see the file that we created in the previous video. So I'm going to create another file here. I'm going to call it send underscore message, okay, .php. So after creating that file, let us open this file and see if it is really working. So what I'll do, I'll simply go to my browser. This is the browser, and I've already started my localhost. You see, I've already started my localhost, and I'm going to navigate to the file that I've just created right now. So it is localhost stroke WhatsApp stroke send message.php. So if I press enter, you can see there is nothing that's being displayed. So it means that if I come here and I write some PHP code and say echo hello and save and come and refresh, I should be able to do what? To see the hello message. So we're going to see what we're going to use. I don't know whether we should use get or post. You know, we have two ways how we can send the message. I think we should use post. Let us use post because it is more secured compared to the get. Okay, so let us use the post way of sending the message from one user to another user. So without wasting much time, right now we're going to check for the what? For the post, of course. So let us first work on the form. Let's create the form, and then after creating the form, then we'll work on the logic of receiving this data. So I'm going to write just my simple form here. It does not need to have anything other than having just the action, and action is where the message will be sent. Of course, we may leave the action if you're expecting to submit the form in the same in the same file. So action, I can skip it, and I'll come to the method. I'll make it post, and then that's all. Okay, so here I'm going to put only a few fields, and that field, one of it will be input of name, which is going to be the sender. Okay, and value, right now I'm going to make it 1. I'm hard coding it because it's just for testing. Okay, and the other receiver will be 2. So I'm going to put here receiver. I hope that's the spelling for the receiver. I hope that's the spelling of a receiver. If it's not, then you can correct me. That is receiver, and then we'll have the message body, so you can call it body, okay, or the message itself. So we're interested in the sender, receiver, and the message itself. Okay, so what else are we interested in that we receive from the user? I may not be interested in anything from the user right now, only that the other side I'll work on the logic of creating time, and the rest, the ID, I'll work it on the server. So right now I should expect the sender ID, the receiver ID, and the message itself. That's what I'm expecting from the user. The time and the rest, I'll work on it on the other side of the server. So I'm going to put here the message itself. So the message can be like good morning. Okay, I'll just put here some BR tag that's going to separate these two inputs, and then we're going to put also, of course, the submit button itself, and it's going to be an input of type of type submit, and the value of send message. Okay, so this is just for testing. Okay, you know, it is just for testing on the website. Okay, because if we had coded it in our Android, it will take us time. So after doing that, let's go ahead and refresh, so you can see that's what we've got. Let me put here again another BR so you can see them spaced. Okay, so if I come and refresh, we should be able to say to get this simple HTML, and if you click on send message, of course we'll see nothing, but this message has been submitted. So let us work on the logic now of receiving this message. Okay, so of course this is, it is a sender, this is the receiver, and this is the message itself. So let us go ahead and put here, before we open anything, I'm going to open my our PHP tag. So PHP, PHP. Okay, so here's where I'm going to put the logic of receiving this message. Okay, so I'm going to check if there is a post of of send, receiver, and the body itself. That's when I'll work on that logic. So I check if is set. The first one is going to be if is set the sender, the post of a sender, and put here some new line like this. If you set the post of a sender and the post of receiver and then the body itself, then I'll know, okay, this is time for for sending the message. Okay, so if those are set, post of all those, I can just say echo time to send message. Okay, so and I'll die here. Okay, so let's save and go and refresh. Save, refresh here. Of course we are submitting this method again. You can see there is some error, semicolon. Sorry, supposed to be is set, open the bracket and put post. Okay, like this. Okay, of course, sorry. So I have here, if you set the post of this, and if you set the post of that, I hope you're together here, right? Okay, so if I come and refresh, at least we should see time to send time to send message. But if you come for the first time, I press enter, we'll see this. It means that the post is not set. But when you submit, you can see that it's time to send the message. So that one can tell us that you have progressed. Okay, so let me go ahead and echo here the pre tag and dump everything. I don't need to dump everything, of course, but just for the sake of printer, and I pass the the post. Okay, so to make sure that everything is okay, if I come and refresh here, you can see that you're having the sender, the receiver, and the body itself. Okay, so after doing that, let's go ahead and get these messages, of course. So I can get the sender. It's going to be trim, of course it's going to be here this sender, and semicolon here. I'll get the receiver ID, and then lastly the message body itself. Okay, so after doing that, let us go ahead and do the logic of sending a message. Okay, so that logic I'm going to put in a function, because I'm going to put in the function, of course, because I cannot put it here because I may reuse that function again and again. So I better put in a function. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call that, I'm going to include this function. Okay, here, so we can reuse them. Okay, you remember we did something like that here in the register. We included those functions. So I'll copy here, come and put it here. Require once these functions. Okay, so I'm going to write a function of send message. I'm going to write a function of send message. Let me put it here on top. I'm going to put it on top here. This is the message of registering, oh sorry, this. Okay, let us put here, we're going to the file of function, and I'm going to put the function of sending a message. Okay, so this one is going to be get user by phone. Okay, no, this one was just for creating the user. Let us now write the function of doing of sending the message. Okay, so it's going to be function, I'm going to call it send message. Okay, and this function is going to take the sender, the receiver, and the put here receiver, and the message body itself. Okay, so that the things that we must provide with this function in order to do to send a message. Okay, So the first thing that I want to do, let us go ahead and create the database so that we should work while we already know the structure of our message table. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the table of sending a message. So of that will hold the messages. Okay, so go to our PHP admin and we go to our WhatsApp database here, and then you create a new table. So I'll reduce here. So let's go ahead and put the table. Of course, here I'm going to call it message, and I'll increase the number of columns and click on go. So these messages are going to have message ID, message underscore ID, and they're going to be integers and they will automatically increment. So I'll move this side and put AI here, auto increment, and there'll be the primary key. Okay, so that's the message ID. So we'll have the sender, and it's going to be the integer, and this is the integer of of sender's ID, and we'll have the receiver. Okay, it's going to be an integer, and it will be the integer of the receiver ID. Okay, after having those ones, then we'll have the message body. Okay, and it's going to be a text. And after having the message body, what else should we put? We should put send time. It's going to be maybe some integer. Okay, because we keep the timestamp, so we can let it be an integer. Send time, we just put receive time, receive underscore time, send time and receive time. Those two, so to be an integer. Okay, after doing that, let's go ahead and put the send time is over, receive time is over. Let's go and put chat thread ID, chat thread. I'll just call it just chat thread. Okay, so why do you need this chat thread? It's the one that will be helping us to combine the chat between two people. Okay, that will be helping us to group the chat between two people. Okay, so we're going to call here chat thread, and it's going to be a variable character of around maybe just 10 characters. Okay, it will be just a combination of the sender and the receiver and the receiver ID. So after having the chat thread, let us see receive time. Okay, let's see if it is seen. It will be a boolean that will be true or false. Where is boolean? Boolean. Okay, where is it? It is here. That will be helping us to see if the message is seen or not. If we proceed, we may need also message type, whether it is a media message or it is a text message. Maybe message type underscore type. Okay, that's enough. I think that's enough. That's fucking enough. that's enough. Okay, that's enough to tell. To work with the message. I think that's enough. Okay, what else do you need? Sent or received. That is enough for now. Let us keep this. Okay, if we will need anything more, we'll add. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this table. Save, and this table will be saved. So have a table of messages. So if you want to see all our columns, you can just simply expand here and you can see the columns. So the first thing before we send, okay, so that's the table of the messages. You can pause the video and look at the table that I've just created for messages. So now the first thing that we'll work on is getting the chat thread, because this chat thread is the one that will be helping us to see if this user, to see if there's the already existing chat between these two users, the sender and the receiver. And how can we get the chat thread? We can just simply write the SQL here. Okay, so this is the message that's going to work on the logic of sending a message. Okay, this is the method that's going to work on the sending message. Okay, so let's create another function that will be getting the chat thread. Okay, so I'm going to call this function, it's going to be a separate function. I'm going to call it get chat thread. It's the one that will be working on the chat thread, like it will be giving us the chat if this chat thread or the grouping between these two users, they already have a chat before or they don't have a chat before. This is the method that will be working on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on that. So it will be receiving the sender and the what and the receiver. Okay, it will be taking two parameters. Okay, so what it will be doing, it will be checking if there is already a communication between these two people, and it gives what, and it gives their chat thread. If it is not there, it will be giving a new chat thread. It will be generating the chat thread for the conversation between two people. So what it will do, we have to write the SQL and see if there is already existing conversation between these two people. Okay, so it is going to be select maybe chat thread only. We're interested only in chat thread, chat underscore thread. I hope that's the name that you use from what, from the table. From where? From messages, from message. Okay, where, and the condition is going to be where the sender is equal to sender. So the condition is going to be where the first condition is going to be sender is equal to, so like this, sender is equal to, of course you have to make it that, and sender is equal to the sender, and receiver is equal to receiver. Here what we're trying to do, we're trying to do what, to see if there is a chat that's existing between these two people or not already. If there's a chat that is existing between these two people, then we'll send their old what, their old chat thread. If there's no chat thread, then we'll create a new one. That's the function of this message. Okay, that's the use of this function. And let me you can see the query is select all from chat thread from, select chat thread from what, from message where the sender equals the sender and receiver is equal receiver. Of course, sometimes the sender might not be the sender, but might be the receiver sometimes. Okay, because it's the chat between two people, so it can change. So we're going to put here another O, another combination that is possible. We still have to add here O and put the same thing, but where the receiver is the sender and the sender is the what, is the receiver. Those are the two possibilities where, those are the two possibilities that can happen between the chat, for the chat between two people. It can be you who started the chat, or it can be another person who started the chat. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so let us first echo our SQL and see if it is okay before we do what, we run it. So I'll just simply come here and say echo the SQL itself. So I'm going to call this SQL here. I'm going to call this query here. Where I'm going to give the sender, and we're going to give the what, the receiver. Okay, so we also have to call this send message from the other side. Okay, we're going to call it from the other side. So I'll copy this method, and then you come here to send message here. So once you have recollected the sender, the receiver, the body, then you'll have to send the message. Okay, we'll have to send the message like this. By calling this function, we give it the sender, the receiver, and the what, and the body itself. So I save and I come to this function. You see, this is the function of sending messages inside the file of what, of functions. Okay, so you can see here now it's where I'm going to work on the logic of sending the message. So here I want first to get the chat thread, and here in the chat thread you can see what you've written. So let's go ahead and run this SQL and see everything is okay. Refresh. Perfect, everything is okay. Only that I have to remove this pre-tag. I don't need this anymore for now. Okay, so if I come and refresh, you can see that's our SQL. Select chat thread from where, from message where the sender is 1 and the receiver is 2, or the receiver is 1 and the sender is 2. Those are the two scenarios that can exist for the chat between two people. Okay, so let's just go and see if the chat thread is existing, and we're going to run this SQL. So we already have somewhere when we run the SQL, it is here. Okay, so I'm going just to simply create this global connection and then run the SQL and then fetch ASOC. Okay, so I'll just simply come here. So we'll first put the global. Oh, where's the chat thread? This is not the method for the chat thread. Okay, so this is the thing. So here is where we are. So we'll come here and first put the global connection. Already have the global variable for the connection, and then we get resources got connection dot query and pass this SQL for sending the query. So after I'm going to fetch ASOC. Okay, or we can first echo here a pre-tag. Okay, a pre-tag, and do what, and dump this resource. Okay, so if we come and refresh, everything is okay. So you can get this num rows, so this number of rows here like this. So you can check if or can as well just go and get we can go and we can go and get the what, we can go and get the resource fetch ASOC even without checking the number of rows. I wanted to first check the number of rows and see if it is more than 0, and then we go ahead and fetch. But I think you can still fetch even before we check by simply putting fetch ASOC here. Like there you can see this one. So I'll come and say we're just interested in only one. So if there's already an existing chat thread, so we're just interested in only one. So I can say chat thread is equal that fetch ASOC. Okay, so let us see if this chat thread echo and see if chat thread is anything. Of course, it's going to bring nothing. Okay, so we can see if chat thread is not what, is not null. Let me first see the data type that is being returned. So we're going to put just var dump and pass this chat thread, and we can see is null. So I'm going to check if this chat thread, is okay, is not null. Okay, if it's not null, I can say here echo not null, just for presenting it, else, and return. And else here I'm going to echo, just for testing, echo thread is null. Okay, let us refresh. You see, thread is null. Okay, of course thread is null. So here, if it is not null, of course it's what we want to return. So I will return chat thread, and then we pass what? We pass chat thread. Okay, or let us just leave this part, this section, for not null. Okay, so if it is null, then it means that we'll have to create now a new what? A new chat thread. Okay, so the new chat thread will just simply return, or can just say new thread ID is going to be, so I'm going to make the combination of the sender and the what, and the receiver. Okay, so it's going to be the combination of the sender ID underscore and the receiver, and then it's what will return. Okay, so what will return. Okay, so you see that's what will return. Otherwise, if it's not null, then we'll see when it is not null, that the logic will work on it later. So you can see here the SQL is simple. I've just selected all from chat thread where the sender is the sender himself or vice versa, and I'm just trying to gauge the combination of these two messages. I mean the combination of between these two senders, between these people who are chatting, and then I run the query. I check, I fetch from ASOC, and then here what I do, I check if it is not null. I'll see here, I will see how I work on that when it is not null. We'll work on it later because right now it is null. Otherwise, we'll create a new chat thread, and chat thread is just an ID between the sender and the receiver, separated the what with the underscore, and then it's what we're returning. So with that much said, let's go ahead and do what? And see if this chat thread has been returned, the one that we just created here. So here I'll just simply say chat thread is equal to that function, and I call the chat thread. So let me go ahead and echo this chat thread and see if it has been generated here. You see, so if I come and refresh, you can see the message between, I mean the ID of the sender and the what and the receiver. So it means that we can now at least create a new chat thread. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the create the SQL of inserting into the messages. So I'll have to first come and copy these columns as the way they are here, so that I should not make mistake when I'm writing their names. So I'll just copy them the way they are here, come and paste them here. Paste them here, and then remove this word column. Okay, so first of all you need the body, so it's going to be SQL is equal to insert. Oh, we have to escape these queries, I mean this. Okay, we'll escape only the body. Okay, let's first escape the body. Okay, so the body, of course, right now we have to take care by ourselves. It's going to be the body is going to be my SQLi string escape, real string escape. So I'll have here my SQLi real string escape, then I'll have to pass the body only. I hope that's it. I hope that's okay. I hope that's it. I hope that's how it is done, because someone can do it, can send the SQL injection. Let us see if it is okay. And code function, my SQLi real string escape, my SQLi takes two parameters, one being the connection. Do you have the connection here? Not yet. So I'll have to first get the connection. So to get the connection, you just simply write this word globe here. So my SQLi real string escape, the first one is connection, the second one is the body itself. Refresh. Beautiful. Okay, so you see, even if there is a message like this, see, if our body, for example, let me show you what I'm trying to do here. I'm escaping the SQL injection. Okay, if our body is having John, see, automatically this new body will have to do what? To escape it for us. You see, this I has been, I mean this hyphen, is it hyphen or high? That this excellent, I mean this how can I come that I forget this? Okay, this one has been done, what has been escaped, because you know it can mess with the with the SQL. So that's why we had to write these functions to avoid such a injection in our database. So you are supposed to inject, I mean to escape everything, but for now we'll just escape only the body, because the most dangerous part. So we're escaping the body. After escaping the body, then let's go ahead and do what? And write the SQL itself. Okay, so our SQL is going to be that That's going to be insert into message, and then let's specify what we want to what you want to insert. So we want to insert the body, comma, want to insert the chat thread, comma, we want to insert the message ID. It will be taken care of. Message ID, it will automatically increase, of course, so we don't need to get that, so we can leave it. Message type, okay, and then the receiver, and then message ID, I think we should generate it by ourselves. Message ID, the database should, okay, let the database automatically generate it. Anyway, okay, yeah, let the database do what? Generate it. Yeah, okay, let the database will generate it. Okay, so sender, the body is there, the thread is there, the type is there, the send time, receiver is there, send time, if it is seen or not, sender, and send time. Okay, let's the sender be near the receiver, and let the send time be near the and then the scene will be the last thing. Then I have to make sure that last comment is not there. I think that's it, so I'll have to remove these comments. Okay, so after doing that, so we have to put the word values, and then open and close the bracket, and then put the values down. Okay, so let's go ahead. The body, we already have it, so just simply put here those single quotes and put the body itself like the way it is here. Okay, so the body, have it now, so I'll put comma. I'll go ahead and get the chat thread. The chat thread, we already have it here. You can see, we know we have the chat thread, so have this chat thread here. After the chat thread, what else? We have to get the the message type. Right now this is just a text, so for now we're going to just make it a plain text message type. When you make this application advanced, you'll have to handle also the media. Okay, the text, the receiver, of course we already have it here, so I've just put here the $sign receiver. And after the receiver, we'll have the sender. The sender already have it, and then after the sender, we'll have the send time. The send time, we can create it from here. It's going to be the timestamp. After the timestamp, the send time, I mean, this is the receive time. The receive time, of course, right now it's nothing. Okay, it's nothing. Okay, receive time is nothing because the message is not received yet. So receive time, I'll go and put nothing and just put that nothing here. Okay, then after putting receive time, let me put the send time. Send time, it's going to be the current timestamp, so just simply put time like this and get the timestamp. Okay, then those the time zones, we can look at them later. So I have to get timestamp, send time, and put here. Okay, and then is it seen? Of course, by default it is not seen. Okay, so seen, I'll make it what? I'll make it 0 or false, any of the two. So seen, it is nothing. So seen here, I'll come and duplicate this one and make it nothing. You can even remove this quotes here, the last. Okay, and make sure that there is no last comma. Okay, so I put a semicolon at the last of this this SQL. And put here the die that return. Okay, so I hope you can see. So let's go ahead and look at this SQL if it is okay. So I'll just simply die with it here. I hope you can see the SQL. Look, just pause the video and look at that SQL. Straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh and see what we've got. So you can see that's our SQL. Okay, so let me remove this echo of the chat thread and then try to run this SQL. So to run the SQL, of course, it's going to be if what? If not connection, if connection it fails, and then put if not connection, query, and I pass the SQL. If it fails, then I can die here, fail, and if it passes that die, I'll know it has succeeded. So I'll put here the last success. So this is just for testing. So let's go ahead and run the SQL and see. Refresh. Success. That's beautiful. So if we come here to our messages, at least we should see that there is a single message that has been done. What that has been sent. You can see here the message has been sent. The sender is there. The receiver is there. Everything is there. You can see everything is beautiful. So let's go ahead and refresh again. So right now I should see the chat thread is not what? Is not null. So let us go ahead and work on that scenario when the chat thread is not what? Is not null. So we'll come here where there is a chat thread not null here. Let us see what I've got here. So I'll just simply dump everything, print underscore r, and I want to see how I can get the chat thread in case there is a chat between the two people. You can see that the chat thread. So if I want to get the chat thread, it means that it's an array, and I have to pass here chat thread like that. So I refresh, you can see I've got the chat thread. So this is what I want to return. So I'll just simply say return that chat thread. You can see, so I'm returning this. Okay, this is what I'm returning. So there it means that in case there is already existing chat thread, it's what will be returned between these two people. If it's not there, then we'll have to create the combination between these two people and do what? And return it. So if I come and refresh here, we should be able to see what? You should be able to see success. That's beautiful. So it means that the message can be sent even when it is the communication between two. So the scenario when the message is not successful, of course, let us say that there is an error here. Let me put here, and at the end I put the last comma. Let us see. If I refresh, you can see it has failed. So it is executing this part. So if you want to see the reason why it fails, you have to get it here in this connection. So I can just simply put here echo and put the what? The pre-tag, echo pre-tag, and just printer. And I want to show you. Refresh. You can see the error is here. You see the error is here, and it's a what? Is an object. So if you want to see that error, you just simply go to the connection and put this error. So if I refresh here, you can see that is the error. There's a problem in the what? In the SQL. So let us be able to return. Let us now return to whatever function, call this function, that there was an error. So for me, I always do like this. So I'll have to do what? To create what? And a simple array. I'll call it maybe response. Okay, and it will have two things. It will have the code. So this code, it will only be successful when it is 1, and the what? And the message. So the code and the message. So the code is 0 and the message, so I'll have to change it from here in case there's an error. So I'll have to get the message and update it from the connection, so that we should be able to know where, if there was success or not. And I'll have to return here the response. Return the response. Return the response. So here the message is 0. I mean the code is 0. This is just my own logic that I'm doing to tell the function that called this one if it is successful or if it fails, and the reason why it failed. Okay, so in case it is successful, I'll have to return it from down here, of course here. So the code will be now 1 to show that it is successful, and the message is going to be message sent successfully. Message sent successfully. Okay, so that's what I'll return in case it is successful. So if I'll have to remove this comma, of course. I was just doing it to make an error scenario. So I have to return this response. So everything is okay now. Everything is okay. So from this side, of course, you have also to expect a what? A response. Okay, response. So here I'll just simply come and put here printer save. Okay, so if I come and save and refresh, you can see the code is 1 and the message was sent successfully from this side. Right, likewise from this side, everything was exactly like the way we did. So you can pause the video and look at that function that is working on the logic of sending a message. Can you look at that function? It's beautiful. Okay, so here we'll do what? I'll have to send also back the data. I want to be sending the last message. In case it is successful, I'll send back the last message. So I'll be calling it data like that. Okay, data, and this data is going to be nothing by default, nothing. Of course, here also to remain nothing. So here what I'm going to do, I want to be getting the last message, that message that has just been sent, and I want to send it back as a what? As the data, because you have to send the time or the ID back to the what? To the mobile phone that sent this message. Okay, so to do that, let us go ahead and get time. Let us go ahead and get that last message that was sent. So to get the last message that was sent, of course, you are going to write the SQL again. So it's going to be what? We can write a function for getting the last message. Should we write it separately? The function for getting the last message between two people. Okay, let us should we write it? Let me think. Didn't write it separately. Didn't write it separately. I want to write the message. I mean the function that can get the message between the last two people. I think we should write it separately. Okay, let us write it separately so that we can reuse that method. Okay, yeah, you know, it is painful but nothing to do. So okay, let's go ahead and write that method. Yeah, let's go ahead and write it, no problem. So it's going to be here, it's going to be function get last message, because we may need it. Of course we will need it. So get last message, it will take maybe the sender and the what? And the receiver. Or it can take only the chat thread. Yeah, if you have the chat thread, then you can get the last message between two people. Chat thread. Okay, so first of all, need the connection. So it's going to be global. I'll just come and copy this. The video has been too long. We're going to finish, don't worry. So we're going to get this, and then the SQL is going to be select all from where? From chat thread. I mean from message. Where chat thread, where chat thread equal to that. Okay, equal the chat thread that has been sent, like this. Okay, and then you put order by we can order by what? By send time, because send time is always increasing. Order by send time, or we can order by chat ID, by message ID, this one, because it's always increasing, this one. So you can order by this message ID, descending. So select the biggest and you limit as 1, limit 1. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so after getting that, okay, then you can return. Okay, then you can run this SQL. It's going to be this it's going to be connection query. You pass the SQL, and then of course you'll have to get the resource. So let me first dump this resource and see if everything is okay. Echo pre-tag, I'll dump the resource. Okay, and die. Okay, so let me call this method here at this point. Okay, once the message is sent successfully, I want to get that last message between these two people. Of course, you have passed the chat thread, and chat thread we already have it here. Okay, so you can see here in the functions method file. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. You see, everything is beautiful and have a single num rows. So let us go ahead and fetch associative array, fetch assoc. So I'll have to come here. Where is this method? It's here. So I'll say if the number of rows are greater than what? Are greater than 0, I can say message is equal to the resource dot fetch underscore assoc, else message is nothing because it was not found. Okay, let's echo the message and we see. Refresh, of course, expecting the last message. Okay, yeah, okay. So fetch assoc, is it what you're expecting really? Message is got fetch assoc, yeah, and yeah, that's the last message. You can see that's the last message. That's the very last message from the database. Okay, so otherwise let us make it just nothing, as you can see there. So that's it. Or you can make it just an empty object. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, so yeah, so let us make it null. Okay, so let us return this last message. Okay, return that last message. Okay, so you can get also select from messages and also from users. Then we'll have to add one more condition here where that is got that, and I want to get the receiver's data, the receiver's name and the receiver's what. So it will have to add from users and from messages and users, where the chat thread, and we'll have to add and what, and the user ID equals the receiver. So it's going to be message dot what dot receiver. I hope don't mess up. Yeah, so let's go ahead and echo this and see if everything is okay. Echo some pre-tag. taking your time. It's going to be 1 hour video to refresh, but that's making a quality thing. So you can see we even have the receiver's name, and that is beautiful. So it will help us when you are presenting these things. So we return that message. So it means that here, so you see this is the function that will be getting for us the last message. That's a very beautiful function. So it means that now we do what? We have the response here, the last message. So we have, where is it? I want to get that last message and attach it on the data here. You see? So I can say here, I want to put the data equals that. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all. So you can see you have the data equals get last message. You get the very last message. Otherwise, the data will be kept as what? As null. Okay, in case the message fails, we'll keep that as null. Okay, but in case there's some successful send of message, then we'll have to get that last message. Okay, so you can see how I've done it. I hope you can see that. Okay, so if I refresh, everything should be beautiful. We have the code, we have the message status, and you have the data, whether it was successful or not. Okay, so here now we have to do what? To echo the response. We have to echo the response. Okay, so I will have to just turn this one into what? Into JSON. Okay, I have to turn it to what? Into JSON. So turn it JSON, but I want to turn this one into a string. This data, I want to turn it into a string, so that when I'll be expecting the message, all the message will be uniform. It will be the data, the message, and the code, the data, and the message itself. So first of all, I will check if you set the what. Okay, I'll just say if the data, of course data is always set, is not equal to null. I'll then get this data and store it somewhere. After installing it somewhere, then I'll unset it. After unsetting it, then I'll again set it, but I'll have to convert this one to JSON in code, and I'll pass the data now. This data now. There I'll have turned it into what? Into a string. So if I refresh here, you can see it is now a string. It's not an array. So that's uniform. So then after, I'll have turned everything into a string, and that's what I'll echo. So I'll just simply say echo JSON in code, and I'll echo the response, and that's the response that will have the code and the message and the data. So when someone will be sending the message, we'll be telling them whether the message was sent successfully or not, and we'll be giving them the last message, that message with the time from the server and everything from the database, if it was sent successfully. Okay, so I hope there we are done. So if I save everything and refresh, you can see everything is in what? It's in JSON format. And that's it. Okay, that's it. That's how we send a message, and I think that's the most important part. So in the next video, we're going to go back to our Android application now and do what? And work on the logic of sending these messages. Then the remaining parts will be fixing them as we proceed, because the most important part was creating the user account and then sending the message, and we've done that logic of sending the message. Okay, so the remaining parts are going to do what? To work on the logic on the Android as we fixing it, as we fix the server side. Okay, thank you for watching up this point. You can pause the video and look at this source code. This is the function that we just created today, and I'll share this source code at the end of this video series. You can look at it. and I'll share the source code after I've finished all these videos, so better write by yourself. So let us meet now in the next video when we're going to look at the what? At writing the logic by ourselves now. Okay, so thank you for watching up this point. I hope you not miss in the next video. See you there.